That wasn't very much fun. Been a long time since the Illini and I have taken a good old ass kicking like that. So give Maryland all the credit in the world. Really, no excuses from us. We have had a just really tough week with sickness and not knowing if guys are playing, guys not in practice. Yeah, it was. Nobody played any good. We were just awful. Nobody played any good. Give Maryland all the credit. We knew it was going to be tough in the paint without Tommy, and they pretty much just controlled the game from the paint. And they're a really good three-point shooting team, so it's kind of pick your poison. Turnovers, points off turnovers, very uncharacteristic to have 12 turnovers from your starting backcourt. Very uncharacteristic night to have no offensive rebounds from Merez. We had 2 at half, so that'll tell you where our energy was and our focus, and we just have to be better. I mean, it was just a stinker. So,
Coach, as you said, it was tough in the paint without Thomas Love. In hindsight, is there anything that he might have did differently to slow him down around the rim?
Let's see, grow Jake 8 inches, put 35 pounds on Ben, have Kerry become 260 pounds instead of 210. They're a really good three-point shooting team. They don't have a 3 at half. We hold them to 3. You're going to pick your poison. If you're going to double, then those guys shoot the cover off of it. And would you do something different? I played a zone tonight. And again, that got really hard because we haven't had anybody in practice. So, it's something that we haven't spent a ton of time on. We had 3 or 4 kind of fake possessions that look good. But, when you lose, like I said, Tommy's been our highest graded guy almost every game defensively. He's your brains. He's 7'1". He makes everybody around him better because he covers for all that. And I don't know when we get him back. He shouldn't have played the Michigan State game. He's been just deathly sick. So we haven't seen him. Tonight's the first time I've seen him in a while. So I'm making an excuse, and I'm not trying to make an excuse. They whipped our butt.
Right, obviously you missed players in the USC game and this one, but you kind of said they were uncharacteristic. So is that alarming, or is that just because the guys are out? Or the
I think it's just guys out. I mean, you get a group that gets acclimated to certain roles, and it's really nice for Merez and Jake and Ben to have Tommy in there at 7'1" right next to him and cover things up. It's nice to have, where we miss Tommy, playmaking. I mean, go ahead and pressure our guards like you did tonight. Well, Tommy, we just saw that against Michigan State. They tried to take away our threes. Great. Tommy, how many passes and backdoor layups did he give against Michigan State? We don't have anybody else that can do that. So everything gets distorted when you lose a great player. And we were without KJ. We all know how good he is. We all know how good Tommy is. We've seen that. And Tommy's brains are what we miss, along with his 7'1". So it's just it's tough to be without guys. And unfortunately, we've been without them.
Obviously, you missed Tommy defensively, and you touched on it a little bit. You missed him on offense as well. You talked about him and KJ being great connectors. Just how much of that did you miss tonight?
It's everything. When teams are 5-way switching, and they're trying to pressure us. Ben couldn't even get a shot off. all the cuts to the rim, all the slips, all the your touch and goes to the rim. It's what he did against Michigan State. It's what Tommy's elite at, and we don't have other guys who can make that pass. Merez is a different type of player, and that's that's what our focus is. It's what our offense is built around, and that makes it easier for everybody. And so, yeah, it's a big loss.
I think you guys are in the neighborhood of like 30% shooting on threes during conference play. Is there anything you've seen leading to maybe that number, or is it just the fact that?
I don't know. Maybe teams will quit guarding us and let us shoot them. I don't know. I don't have a reason. We got to keep shooting them though. But the thing we didn't do tonight was rebounding. I mean, we had 2 rebounds at halftime, and when we do that, we're not going to win.
Brad, with Kylan, is there something that you want to see from him to get back into a rhythm or not make as many mistakes with the ball in his hands? What are you seeing with that?
He's better with KJ. He's better with Tommy. Again, guys, I mean, Tommy missed today. KJ's played 54% of the minutes that Lake Play going into tonight. And we've just got to find a way to get whole again. And so guys can settle back into their roles. Are we going to win when our backcourt turns it over 12 times? We're not. But we need Tommy. Tommy helps that. He's a great piece to that. Tommy can shoot it. He can space. It changes all the dynamic of what a defense has to do. So it's just it's a different look. All of a sudden we don't have a 3-point shooter at the 5 spot because that's not Merez's deal. So our whole dynamic changed, and so we got to get there. But Kylan's got to not turn the ball over. It would be nice. I think he's got 10 or 11 in his last 2 games. Just quit throwing. He made me really happy if he just quit throwing no-look passes, because he throws them to the lady in the first row and the manager and the janitor and you guys on press row, because they don't hit us. And he's a really good passer when he just keeps it really simple. And KJ was equally as bad tonight.
Yeah. Brad, another thing I'm seeing in conference play from you guys is your free throw rate is way down.
No kidding.
So anything you see?
You don't think I haven't called the league office about that? I have no explanation why we played the schedule we played. We were number one in the league in non-league play, and played the schedule we played, and went from first to dead last. Like I said, I've called Terry Weimer, I've called our league office. I am more than frustrated. Casper shot 34 free throws in 4 SEC opponent games. He had 14 going into tonight's game. But Bam's got to get fouled too. That's one thing Boswell's got to do a much better job of.
Coach, what'd you see from some guys who don't typically get a lot of minutes just because of Thomas Law being out? Like Kieran Booth and Jake Davis.
Yeah, Jake's been a really good player for us. Jake was just, physically a tough matchup on the other end. I thought Kerry played really hard, and again, sometimes it's matchups with Kerry, and I like Kerry's game. He's bouncy, he's athletic. I thought he did a good job challenging shots at the rim. He's my biggest concern with Kerry has always been on the glass, rebounding. He had an offensive rebound on a free throw, and no defensive. Not that anybody else did that, but those are things that guys 6'10" got to do consistently. But I thought it was all right. Draven's playing great. We just, like I said, we didn't have Trey, we didn't have Will. Those guys were non-functioning members of our practices here. So
you did characterize maybe some of Kylan's turnovers, but 16 total. Was that more you guys, or did Maryland do something to amp that number?
Well, they didn't press us. We threw it to them how many times? I think it was just poor execution, everything on our part. I don't think it's anything they did.
Is with Tommy, when did it become clear to you that he wouldn't be available, and you said you didn't know when you'd have him back? Is it just like a day-to-day? Do you have any sort of rough timeline on what that could look like?
We don't have any timeline, but it is day to day, but he is not even close to being a participant in tonight's game. That's for sure. Thank you.
Thanks for what you